Russian scholars came to this area, as you people have come for a kind of survey or research. So they came here, they were from Russian Academy of Sciences and led by late Professor Dr. Gilgit-Baltistan. So I had the honor to coordinate them because I was on behalf of Kirghizistan University. I was coordinating it because I was doing at that time a PhD coursework from Kirghizistan University, Textile Institute of Asian Civilization. So then it was so much great, so much successful for them when we had the program, took them to visit district, to Ishkoman Valley, to Hunza Valley, and different areas. They continued their field study here for 15 days, and this was the organization which collaborated and facilitated them. So these were some of those aspects which I wanted to tell you. But now at this point, I would like to say that as we are here, though I was the founding joint secretary of this organization in the beginning, but in 2002 I had resigned literally, and I wasn't with this organization. Now in last year we were again brought, and these are our members, and Mr. Lutfullah, who is here, he remains so proactive in this regard to how to mobilize further, and then he is coordinating Chorshanbe unit here. And the structure is so we have initially we had it is comprised on 7 units. So 3 districts are here within this organization. One, Hunza district, where we have within the Baki populated area, we have 4 units as Lower Bajal unit, Shimshad unit, Khyber and Afghan unit, and Chorshanbe unit. And then we have here in the center, we have Gilgit unit, and then in the Ishkoman Valley of Rizal district, we have 2 units. Recently it becomes 2 years, Upper and Lower Ishkoman units. So our president, who is not here, he's from Gishkish, so he had especially advised me to thank you all for coming here and then to welcome you. He couldn't come himself because he is a public servant, and on the other hand, some exams and those things are there. But particularly, 4 hours drive it takes from Gishkish, from his village to Gilgit.
Oh, okay.
So it was not possible because at the 11th hour we got it last night. Thank you. So he told me after 12 o'clock that when it is now. I'm so much grateful to my great friend Chorshanbe Ghoyibnazarov. So we were in contact for a long time, and he was so much great to come here for the first time in this area. So particularly I would like to welcome him on behalf of on my behalf, and particularly to you all on behalf of this organization. So this is what some of the features I just presented to you here, and now we are for the last 1.5 years we are here in this organization. President is Sarwar Khan, and I myself I am a vice president, and likewise we have the coordinators for each unit. So they are here. So they now, if anything you need to ask, any question, any one of you, you are most welcome. I won't like to take further time. I think I took a lot of time.
No, thank you so much. That was a very detailed introduction to your organization, as well as the work that you guys have been doing. Thanks a lot. Do you have any questions? Otherwise, I have a question.
Sure.
So we would like to understand what are the different and various challenges that you feel for your culture, for the language as well as the intangible cultural practices. What are the different kinds of challenges that you face or you see now and also in future?
I think that now let's open it to our distinguished members here. They are here, so they will participate. I spoke a lot with them later on.
Yes.
Thank you. Janisa.
I'll just first mention 1 or 2 similarities and bigger challenges. Primarily we were pastoral communities, like the Terres, the Wafis. We have lived for centuries together in Pamis. So we might share many commonalities in terms of our food, our living, in York and Yurt, and relatively the Wahis on Hunza side, we have relatively settled earlier than the communities, I think, on some of the extreme farming areas, which are, maybe some of them are still pastoral. As we observe it on the net, they still practice the buzgashi and several other things. But since we are a bit earlier migrants to Hunza, so we have amalgamated, our cultural things with Gilgit, with Hunza, and other neighborhood communities. So that is one difference. In this region, our, in terms of games, polo is on top in Gilgit. But gradually, the rearing and looking after horses are withering away.
Yes.
So again we are losing our buzgashi or even polo games, which was a routine in the past. But still, wherever there is little bit government support, still it exists. But from my generation onward, I am now in my mid-60s, we started education on this side, and most of us are educated initially from Karachi city. Most of the people of my age, in one way or the other, they have lived maybe for 10 years or 20 years, and some of our colleagues for 5 years, 8 years in Karachi. So the people who moved, from urban areas to the rural areas, we had many problems that we encountered initially, because we saw big bungalows, we saw people moving around in cars, and we were pastoral people. On the one hand, we couldn't totally settle in big urban areas because the Wahis, as you know, it's not something hidden. Even all our family brothers and sisters, even the Al-Sunnah people, they know it, that the Wahis are mostly Ismaili community. They are the followers of His Highness the Aga Khan. So his guidance was that we should receive our education in the urban areas and then move back to our areas if we really wish, to take our region forward. So that is how our generation was sort of, you can say, intermediary between the past culture and the demands of the current age. So that was one challenge. We couldn't adjust ourselves totally being first batch of educated people or second batch of educated people, to adjust totally to what our forefathers used to live or the way they used to practice their day-to-day activities. On the other hand, while we were in cities, we were longing to be in our region because of His Highness's advices, guidance, and plus, at times we felt like missing the mountains, missing our high pastures, believe you me. So we retreated back. Today, as His Highness's, I think, established this UCA for Central Asian people, might be that some of these youth who are Kyrgyz or Tajik or other, mountain people, our challenge is that our populations are too small. Although the area is attractive for tourism, and for certain things. But what happens when we receive higher degrees without having practical life skills? I think that is what UCA is addressing. But on our side, that was another challenge, that we were simply in our Pakistani system, we got white-collar graduates without any practical, life skills. So there were too many graduates, even today. We have Karakorum International University, and it is quite late. Rather, it's now flowing back from Central Asia to us, that we should educate our youth even in music, in art, in different, practical things that would support their lives economically well. So, since Dr. Zahra Sahiba was asking that what were your challenges, So these were some of the intangible, unseen sort of problems that our generation came through. But I think now our younger generation are better off because they are more exerted. They can motivate their parents, saying that they should be educated in the area which is of their own liking. Like I have two daughters, I sent both of them to Lahore because one of them felt that she should study management side. I say I have no problem. Go for management science. The second daughter went for architecture. So I encouraged her to be there. But that was not the case with our generation. The people who are sitting today with you. So we were sort of self-grown plants in the jungle. And we moved from these rural areas to urban areas, and we saw different things. We came across many experiences, you can say, good, bad, and then retreated back without having any life skill. So this is my personal feeling. I may be wrong, though I spent a very good time with Gilgit-Baltistan in Karachi. I spent 1 year in UK at the IIS. I retreated back. I spent very good 13 years with Rural Support Program as social organizer, as training officer, just in name. I knew nothing about training. Maybe I learned little bit after 25 years or 30 years, the real meaning of life, or what does really knowing, doing things. So that would be my advice for the younger generations coming from farm area. That education should not restrict us only to philosophy and to intangible things.
Yes.
We should also learn things that support our economy. That would be my point. Maybe at times, is my nephew, maternal nephew, this DWB, is my maternal sister's son. Because so he's a successful man. Why? Because he's practical, a musician, and doing many things practically on ground.
Okay.
I conclude here. So maybe now we come to another
please.
member.
Challenges can
Challenges. Say only
Challenges.
two challenges. Maybe I will say one challenge
To the
and one
point.
opportunity, and not more. The first challenge for me was I was connected with the family, and in my father's age, I was separated from family, and I felt loneliness. My grandfather's mother was from Afghanistan family, and his aunt got married in Tajikistan as well, one in China, and I was separated. Yes, and I was separated. My grandfather could not see them. That was the biggest challenge for me. At that time, another new notion came, a new people came, and I tried to mold myself according to them. That was a challenge. To become like the Europeans or like the down country as
Following others.
Yes, following others. That was the biggest challenge first. Now the second challenge what came? The second challenge came a lot of language and language. Controlling language, which controlled my language as well. They gave me opportunity as Gamisaf started writing, also I started writing. They gave me opportunity, and I also lost many parts of my language. These are the challenges, and the challenges are not only that. Many of the games, many of the activities, which was possible to survive here, but I thought what I'm seeing outside is more important than what is inside. So I left those. For example, my clothing. I could not improve my clothing. Sandal is both. I say sandal and the British says sandal. Yes, the same name. They improved. I left. So these things happen. So now, as Damsar said, the youth is coming to reinvention, find out them, and I'm very happy seeing that you are also on the way. What to find out, what to revive. So I see some kind of collaborations among us, but I don't know what would be the ways to communicate and to collaborate with each other. I should not waste most of your time and keeping here that what we can do together for our survival and for bigger scene, yes, for the region. So thank you so much. You listen me.
It's a kind of give and
And
take.
another, just Fazlamin Beg sir, if you allow me, we are genuinely thankful, Zahra, to you and to Jafri sir, Rizvi sir. You know, you have taken this challenge of being urbanized people, that you can do something for people living in the high mountains. Maybe you enjoy part of the Pamiri, the region, and you would see many high mountains here too. Might be that you have come before as well, but this would be a revision of revival of some of the ideas and thoughts. So as Aman said, I think partly perhaps it is a self-search for everybody.
Absolutely.
And as Hazrat Ali said, Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu. The one who understands himself or herself can find God. You know, God too. So I would say, the dichotomy is on the one hand, we all are in search of finding ourselves, that what we are, you know, and what we should do, in what ways we can collaborate with our neighborhoods. So we are thankful especially to you guys, not guys, sorry, respectable doctors are.
Let's move ahead towards the.
You have taken this precious time
to our women members, please.
Pamirian friends.
Yeah.
Or their Kyrgyz brothers and
First,
sisters.
let's have what are their thoughts
Yes.
towards that question. The females should come up and then they should express what challenges they feel.
Whatever chat, yes.
I want to talk about the artisans' challenges because they are both gifted skills of arts like music, like handicraft, weaving, carving, and other like art skills. But they are from poor communities. They want to enhance their artistic skills.
The formal school education is one challenge that craft people face because then they send their kids to school rather than them learning a craft product. Do you think
It is not, I think it's the second point, but the first point is that the fathers are facing poverty issue for earning to prepare their fees, to prepare their other needs, but their skills left behind there. So we need some
Handicrafts, training in handicraft, practical things.
Yeah,
You mentioned.
we need the artisans to come to bring them enterprise.
okay, yes.
And then if they will promote their enterprises for earning through their skills, so both sides will increase.
And how do you think, what is the role of the crafts organizations in the region? Because AKRSP has been working in the region for a long time on crafts as well. So has Rupani Foundation and Kado as well. Do you think are they following a good model, or do you think that there need to be more organizations?
The organization has trained them, but here is not the industrial environment.
Yes, exactly.
So we need
So there is training.
Industrial.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there is training, but there is no marketing skills in terms of how do they market their products.
We have many centers for weaving, for craft, for many other handicraft products.
Yes.
But that is not in the going in the way of industrial tools.
You are absolutely right.
There needs to be a value chain of the.
Exactly.
What we talk is also the right wording, and all schooling is not combined with the skills.
Exactly.
The skills in all schools are mostly reading, writing, speaking, listening, and there is not beyond. A few schools are there which is working on creation and these things, on creativity and these things. That is also one of the reasons we need change in our schools' behavior as well.
Yes. So, just related to your point, there's some. Related to your point, there's also this other thing that we've been noticing: the presence of Chinese products in the markets. Is that, do you think, also a reason for decline in handmade crafts?
Sometimes, yeah,
Partly,
some
yes.
expensive. The artisans which product they are producing, they high prices of their rates. Because high prices of their rates, the people prefer the Chinese product.
Because they're cheap.
Yeah, they're-
At easy access, low cost,
yeah.
we would appreciate, the people, the mountain regions that are connected to China. Again, it has two facets, Dr. Zahra. One facet is that at least the Chinese enable us to get fresh new things for our kids. In the past, what used to happen, especially on our Pakistan
I
side,
think the
we get a lot of
marketing.
Yes,
second hand.
Second hand, dresses and those things. But the Chinese, thanks to Chinese, they made things accessible to each and everyone. Each and every student, each and every
afford
parent can now
everything, yes.
afford a fresh dress
Fresh dress
for
for
their children. So that increases, intellectually our youngsters. And I agree with Dr. Sahiba. It's the truth because they have more power generation. They have more
Cheap labor.
technical know-how, and they have made everything at lowest rate available. So naturally, handicraft is handmade, and that is too costly, and only few foreigners can purchase that. So that is true. But as if we think from the market development point of view, then I believe that another problem that our region faced, we were in a transition period. Thanks God, we are not at that stage where we used to be 40 years then.
Okay, can I interrupt?
But things have improved,
Yeah.
but not to that
Yeah.
degree.
We have according to our time manager. So we have only a maximum 20 minutes, otherwise 15 minutes. And within this time frame, if we could sum up it, and then Zahra, I would like to request you to kindly ask. There is another female member of ours, Madam Lajward, if anything.
Yes, I'm waiting for her to speak.
As I introduced myself that I was a teacher, but I am sorry to say my English is not so good.
No,
You don't have to
no
be
problem
sorry
at all.
Because I was not an English
English
teacher.
medium school product.
No,
Yeah,
that doesn't
I
make
was
sense.
teaching just Urdu and some.
We are
I can explain in Urdu, in Wafi, in Gushes, even in Swar, in Shina, but I am sorry to say my English.
No problem. But you carry on with your idea, that's important.
तो बड़ी चैलेंज क्या है आपको, क्या लगता है चैलेंज क्या है योर कल्चर?
जिस तरह हमारी सिस्टर लैला ने हाईलाइट किया कि प्रोडक्ट्स हम बनाते हैं हर किस्म की, सिलाई कढ़ाई की, अच्छा बुनाई के, जहाँ हम ऑर्गेनिक चीज़ें बना सकते हैं, जैसे जैम है, अच्छा दूसरी तीसरी चीज़ें प्रोडक्ट्स हैं जो हम लोकल फ्रूट और सब्जियों से बना सकते हैं और बनाते हैं हमारी जो ख़वातीन हैं, घरेलू ख़वातीन। तो लेकिन उनको प्रॉपर तरीके से मार्केट तक जो है रसाई हासिल नहीं होती, जिसकी वजह से जो है उनके जो काम है वो फ्रूटफुल नहीं होता है, वो फ़ायदा नहीं दे सकता है जो देना चाहिए ख़वातीन को, और जिसका जो है इनपुट आना चाहिए तो वो नहीं होता है। ये ज़रा मसला है। और दूसरा ये कि एजुकेशन के हवाले से अभी पहले की निस्बत माशाल्लाह से लोगों में अवेयरनेस इतने आ गया है कि वो अपने बच्चों को आगे जो है शहरों तक उनको रसाई देते हैं और अफोर्ड भी करते हैं। हत्तुल वसा उनकी कोशिश होती है अपना पेट काट के वो अपने बच्चों को आगे, बच्चियों को खुसूसन तो वो सपोर्ट करते हैं हर लिहाज से। तो ये बेहतरी है, लेकिन चैलेंज वापस यही कि हॉस्टल्स में प्रॉपर तरीके से ख़वातीन के लिए, बच्चियों के लिए जो है वो सहूलियात नहीं होती और सही माहौल उनको प्रोवाइड नहीं होता, जिसकी वजह से पीछे वालिदैन के लिए परेशानी के बाइस बनता है और वो जो है माता पिता आज़ाद जो है उनको नहीं छोड़ सकते कि वो वापस उनको जो है खींच काट के अपने जो है एरिया तक लाने बगैर हिचकिचाहट के अपनी जो है पढ़ाई को और जो भी हुनर वो सीखना चाहते हैं, जिस मैदान में आगे जाना चाहते हैं उसको सही तरीके से जो
मेरा एक सवाल है सर, वो सवाल वाले to conclude sir. I have a question because we are just moving towards development, and the friends whom I am seeing with me have crossed that path. So my question is from the guests. We just discussed our challenges with you, and I'm not asking what is your challenge. I'm asking how did you, because you are also the same hostel or maybe agriculture. You are also coming from the mountain region. How did you overcome these issues or these problems? If anyone can guide us, that will help us to not look into others, especially
How our Kyrgyz brothers and sisters. We would like to know from our Kyrgyz brothers and sisters.
Yes.
I think we have very much similarities. All mountain communities within Kyrgyzstan are also facing poverty and have a lot of issues on the ground. Government has no issues. They are okay, but people are surviving, and I think it's really the same in our countries. But we have one success direction. This is textile art. You are talking about, and this contribution of NGOs is very high. They learned Kyrgyz women how to make traditional artworks more contemporary, and now we are selling in very good way them as artistic work, as a craft work, and also now there is new generation of young women who are selling through internet. This is like last few years, and it works because a local market is very tiny. There is no customer in local market, so we are thinking how to sell it not in Kyrgyzstan but in other countries.
In the bigger market.
Yeah, and this felt making and patchwork. Now textile art is very popular, like chopon. But in other areas we have same challenges and trying to solve them.
Thank you. We have been purchasing in Hunza, maybe for the past 8 to 10 generations, the Kyrgyz carpets and the Kyrgyz cheese and virgin wool, many things from the
Yes, you know more about Kyrgyz.
Actually, the Turks, well, from handicraft point of view, they have centuries old, tradition.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 minutes.
Definitely, we are going to wrap it
in
up. then.
place of Dr. Zahra, I'm going to manage the time.
Was I managing time?
No, because the time manager is here with me. So that's why, I'm not expressing myself. I've left it open for our members. If
Sorry,
I
Dr.
start
Saiban.
the whole night and day.
Dr. Fazal Sir, you three doctors, you and our brother Chorshanbe and Dr. Zahra, you should be analyzing even at night. The rest of us,
No,
let
important.
let us talk even some private
Of
things.
course. That's why I'm
One of our colleagues said that he or she is from Osh.
Yes.
Osh. Is Osh from Ash, which is one of our Daudu, or so we call it soap. Is Osh from Osh is Osh, like Central Asian people we call it Osh, or is it some other Osh? Osh.
The word Osh.
I know it's the name of your city, but meaning, what's the meaning of Osh?
That is called Osh, it's not Osh.
She's not sure about your version.
What I'm saying is like so Osh,
Yeah.
it's common among the Wahris and the Turkish
And we
culture.
have ash like
Yeah.
top of
Yeah, so my question was that the origin nomenclature of that Osh city, is it comes from the Osh, like Sokash, or it denotes something else, just for knowledge sake?
Yeah, there are several legends related to the Osh, and one of them that
one of them is the road.
shepherd.
Shepherd.
Oh,
They're saying Posh.
Okay. The sound funny.
Yeah.
The sound the shepherd makes to
Push.
Yeah.
Push.
push.